Luffy is strong, no doubt about it. There are way too many denying fans that consider Luffy's strength as if it were to come out of nowhere, which is completely ridiculous. I constantly have to remind my viewers that Luffy trained to be as strong as he is now, 2 whole years to be exact, and that by fighting stronger opponents in real-time battles, he will get stronger. Words from Rayleigh. Remember when Luffy first used Gear 4 against Doflamingo? He completely overwhelmed him in all stats. However, when Gear 4 was up, Luffy was barely able to stand on his own. He needed the help of many people to save him from Doffy. He was riding on Gats's back. After the 10 minutes, Luffy bested Doffy's strongest attack, God Thread, with King Kong. However, let's look at Gear 4 again, but against a deadlier opponent, Cracker. This was a bad matchup for Luffy because Cracker could summon many Biscuit Warriors, an infinite amount, and Luffy struggled until he went Gear 4, but the downfall was the time limit, again. He had to receive assistance with Nami and King Bomb. Basically, without Nami's reign, Luffy would have potentially been beat because he has no haki left to defend himself. Luffy's stomach is what saved him for the long duration of the battle. The manga however doesn't show in between after Luffy runs out of Gear 4, which is why it's good to have anime and manga when the manga doesn't reveal certain things. Nami saves Luffy for a couple minutes, attempting to fight against Cracker. Luffy was able to use Gear 2 to save Nami from Cracker, whereas in Dressrosa, he couldn't even move nor use any gears. Afterwards Luffy used Gear 4 Tank Man since he was eating the Biscuit Warriors all night. This implies that Luffy is getting more adapted to Gear 4's drawback after its time limit. He officially defeats Cracker and reverts back to his normal self, though looking tired. Then we see Luffy sleeping off his fullness body. Then, he looks as energetic as ever with the news of seeing Sanji. The whole point of this is that Luffy is actually getting the handle of using Gear 4 without being as exhausted during its first appearance. We see it during Katakuri's battle as well. Luffy was holding his own against Katakuri, even getting pummeled around until he knew for a fact that his crew was safe and that there was a plan. Even Katakuri was getting stressed out how Luffy is able to dodge his attacks. Luffy was running around after Gear 4's time limit was up. He's definitely getting more used to this. Luffy even used Gear 3, while carrying Brûlé. Something that Luffy could not do during Dressrosa. Luffy in Gear 4 Snakeman was so fast that even Katakuri could not dodge his preemptive attacks. This is the same commander that can see seconds into the future. After defeating Katakuri, 7 minutes later, Luffy was the first to move. After using Gear 4 not once, but twice. Luffy is getting better at Gear 4, or at least it seems like he is more efficient in being able to move after the time limit. So, why does that matter? It matters because Gear 4 is the only power-up that Luffy currently has to stand against any admiral. The first clash between Fujitora and Luffy was embarrassing as neither character had any desire to fight one another seriously. Fujitora didn't want to apprehend Dressrosa's heroes. And Luffy likes Fujitora for his character. The reason why I mentioned a lot about Luffy is that people backlash him, claiming he is weak and obtained a power-up out of nowhere. Luffy is supposed to fight stronger opponents so that he can get stronger. Rayleigh's quote, "The flower of haki only truly blooms in the extreme conditions of real battles." Fujitora is likely to be the winner because he is able to manipulate gravity. This gives Luffy a serious disadvantage because he is rubber. Being at Gear 4, he'll likely use Boundman. The time limit to Gear 4 is the downfall of this power-up, sadly. Until we see Luffy defeating a Yonko, then this answer will obviously change. Luffy's not weak, however, he's not strong enough to actually defeat an admiral, but strong enough to stand against one. Maybe after Wano arc, he'll be strong enough. Who knows? I hope this helpful.